Okay, guys, let's start. The webinar is also recorded, so for the ones who couldn't make it today, the replay will be available short after the webinar. So I will make sure that everyone will get the replay as soon as possible afterwards. But for the ones who are here today, welcome and thanks for taking the time to join this webinar. As you can see, today is all about why Spanish and Portuguese dentists should consider a career in the Netherlands. Let's continue with the first slide, where also I would like to mention the topics, also what I would like to discuss today. First, something about myself, as you can see. Then I will talk more about why the Netherlands can be interesting for Spanish and Portuguese dentists, followed by registration as a dentist in the Netherlands. Nowadays, a very important topic to come over here. We have a BGB program in which we help dentists to start a career in the Netherlands, which I will explain in detail. Finally, and also followed by the next steps and the contact details. First, something about myself. Why am I hosting this webinar? Again, my name is Arjen, and I already work here for 11 years in BGB dentistry. And mainly I've been helping a lot of Spanish and Portuguese dentists in all those years that I'm working over here. So that's also why I thought it's nice to talk about it, what I see in all those years, and also why I think the Netherlands can be interesting for Spanish dentists and Portuguese dentists who are considering a career abroad. Nowadays, I've met several dentists in all those years. We, as a whole company, we have helped more than 350 dentists, maybe even more nowadays, who started their career in the Netherlands. The majority is still living and working over here, which I think also is a good sign. We are a company that is really helping dentists who are really motivated to work and to live as a dentist in the Netherlands. So that's also why I'm happy to host this webinar also for you. Maybe you already have been in the Netherlands, maybe not, you have heard about it, but let's also continue about why is it so interesting to consider, or why is the Netherlands interesting to go to? What does the Netherlands offer, and why should you consider it as maybe possible next destination? So let's continue with the next slide. In the first place, let's talk about why it could be interesting for a dentist, and especially that's because of that. We, as the Netherlands over here, we have a big shortage of dentists. That's a big difference what you are facing in Spain and Portugal, where you are with a lot of dentists who are looking for job opportunities. Here in the Netherlands, we have the contrary situation. We have a shortage of dentists, a lack of dentists, which for you makes the Netherlands an interesting country to think about. There are many job vacancies, so you are really wanted to work over here in the Dutch dental clinic. At the same time, regarding the work, what you have to do in the clinic, there's a high volume of patients and also a good quality of dentistry, what you can perform in the clinic. People don't only come for a pain complaint or for only a checkup. No, it's really what needs to be done over here in the clinic, meaning that you can do the whole variety of the general dentistry treatments, from checkups to fillings to endodontics to extractions, but also periodontics, crowns, implants, advanced dentistry. That's also why it's challenging every day to do your job as a dentist in a Dutch dental clinic, and why the Netherlands is an interesting country, again, to think about if you're really pursuing your career in dentistry in another country. And because of the fact that you are treating lots of patients and you can do also quality treatments in the clinic, logically your turnover and also your salary will grow. Maybe not directly from the beginning, because also you need some time to settle, to start work in the clinic. But eventually, after a couple of months, after a year, maybe even longer, you will see that you will grow to a high level of dentistry, but also to a high level of income at the same time as well, which of course is also an important aspect of why you should go to another country. So that's also why I wrote down professional and financial growth. Professional growth regarding dentistry, the quality what you give as a dentist to your patients, gaining experience in lots of treatments what you can do within the general dentistry, and also financial growth. It is also possible to specialize yourself in an area of dentistry, but keep in mind it always starts with general dentistry. Clinics are mainly looking for general dentists who are able to perform all kinds of treatments within the general dentistry. And the next topic is respect as a dentist. And what do I mean with that? Well, that you have studied dentistry for many years in your universities. But what I hear in all those years often is that people say, hey, I start work in a clinic, but actually I can't do the treatments what I've learned for. Maybe I can do a few treatments, but maybe my boss is doing, yeah, the majority of the treatments is maybe taking the treatments what are also gaining turnover, and I do only, yeah, a small part of it. That's not what you will find over here. No matter what age you have, no matter what country you're coming from, you are the expert who's giving the treatment to the patient. They respect you as a dentist. So when you start working in the clinic, yeah, they listen to you as the expert, and they actually expect that you, as the one who has studied dentistry, is capable and is able to offer the optimal treatment to the patient. And I think that's a very important thing. And also what we hear from our dentists who are working right now in the Netherlands, they are happy in the clinic. They can develop themselves, so they can grow, and they feel respected as a dentist simply because they can do daily the treatments what I've learned for, no matter the age what they have. So what we also hear is that patients, they only would like to listen to an older dentist who has many years of experience. That's not what you'll find over here. Of course, you need to be capable in doing the treatments in dentistry, but here it's all about, yeah, the respect in your profession as a dentist. If you are working in a clinic, it really doesn't matter what age you have. If you show that you're capable of giving optimal treatment, patients will listen to it. Good work-life balance. Maybe one of the most known reasons why we see people going to the Netherlands as well. Good work-life balance is also how would you say it? A good work-life balance is working max 8 hours per day, but also at the same time enjoying your personal life. And what we hear from dentists who are still living in the country, in Spain and Portugal, they're saying, if they are working, I'm working lots of hours every day. However, I barely have time to have dinner, or I barely have time to see my family, or to see my kids, to see my partner. That's not what you will see over here. You work an X amount of hours per day. That is max 8 hours per day, where you can do your job. Normally, let's say from 9 to 5, or if you have let's say an afternoon shift, maybe it can be a little bit different. Let's say from 1 to 7, but then of course you have the morning off, and the other way around. So that always your working hours are protected, are stable, but also at the same time your work-life balance is protected, so that you have a good balance between work and life. Safe country. What do I mean with that? And maybe it sounds as a cliche, safe country. Well, maybe nowadays it isn't that's logical and also a normal thing, because there are a lot of developments going on in the world. But here in the Netherlands, people, they live well. They feel protected. They don't have to look behind their shoulders if someone is chasing them. So what kind of ethnicity what you have, sexual identity, if you're gay, lesbian, no matter what you are, you can feel safe over here. We are a free country, and that's also why we see really people going over here, but also staying here for many years, because they're happy with not only their work, but also with their life. And I think all of this in summary is actually quality of life. Quality of life is also maybe a term what you hear nowadays quite often, but I really think what I just mentioned is in summary quality of life. You are living the life actually what you want. I have to be honest. Um, don't go here for the weather. The Netherlands is not a country with the best climate regarding summers. But maybe, who knows, with the climate problems what we are facing in the world nowadays, maybe it is not that bad to go to the Netherlands regarding the temperatures what we have, and also not the hottest summers that we have nowadays. So I have to mention that, of course, as well. Actually, at this moment, it's also raining. That is the first time since many days that it is raining over here, but still, it is something what you hear often about the Netherlands. Well, I would say we don't have the hottest summers. Yes, there will be some rain, also some clouds, compared with Spain and Portugal, logically. But we also don't have very cold winters. So it's actually like, yeah, something in between. Next, why the Netherlands again, but also why specifically Spanish and Portuguese dentists like you? As I said in the beginning of our webinar, I have been working now for more than 11 years in this company. And most dentists are coming from Spain and Portugal. And that's also because we, as a company, we collaborate well with our dentist. And also that's because of the level of education, what they've achieved in the home country. So in your case, Spain and Portugal. You have a good level of education that also fits well in the Dutch dental clinics, but also on personal level. And that's also why I have placed this emoticon where we shake each other the hand, the Netherlands and also Spain and Portugal. I think also on personal level, as a character, the Netherlands, Spain and Portugal, they go along well with each other. And that's also, I think, one of the reasons why we collaborate well with each other for so many years. And also, again, what we hear from the Dutch dental clinics. Our clients, where we have our dentists working, they say, yeah, we have good experiences with you, with Spanish and Portuguese dentists. And they also hear that back from the patients. They're happy with the work, what the dentists are giving to the patients. And that's also why, yeah, we're happy to have you at our team in the Netherlands. And it's also, again, one of the reasons why I'm hosting this webinar. And what we also see is that not only we see Spanish and Portuguese dentists starting their career over here through us, or maybe even maybe through other companies. Everyone is of course flexible and free to decide what they would like to choose. But afterwards, we also see them after our contract. We also see them staying in the Netherlands. So we see that you, plural, Spanish and Portuguese dentist, you are living and working here for many years after, which I think is also showing that you are happy. They are happy. The ones who followed or who started before you, they are happy with their life and with their work over here in the Netherlands. Do they go back once in a while to Spain and Portugal? Yes, for sure. We have also a good infrastructure where it doesn't take that much time to go back to Lisbon, to Porto, to Madrid, Barcelona, all the other Spanish cities who also have airports. In just a zip, you are already back at your home country. But on the aspect of living here, but also working here, people, we see them staying over here. And I think, and we think that's a good sign. And also why we think that, again, you should consider a career and also a life as a dentist in the Netherlands, to enjoy a quality of life, I would say. By the way, going back about that topic, what we also see then is for the ones who also start to work and live over here and also stay here for many years and even for many years to come, logically that also results in buying a house. So really thinking about your future. And also the majority stays over here and don't go back to the home country. Do we have people who go back? Yes, of course. But I would say that the majority is still staying in the Netherlands, which I think is, again, a good sign. We as a company, BGB, maybe you already have heard about us before. Maybe it's the first time you heard about us. But BGB is actually also an abbreviative of Buena Gente Buena. So for the Spanish dentists who are watching this webinar, you know exactly what I mean with that. It's also something what we have heard from one of our dentists who we have helped in the past. We heard that term and we felt like, because back then we were having another company name, but since a few years we are having this company name, and we thought like Buena Gente Buena is actually also the way how we see our company, but also the people who we would like to help. And so not only are you good as a person, you are nice to work with, nice to collaborate with, but also you are good regarding a dentist. So you're good in performing the right treatments, in performing high quality of dentistry. And yeah, these are the people we are looking for. And honestly, yeah, we have seen that, yeah, Spanish and Portuguese dentists, they are BGB, they are Buena Gente Buena. However, in order to work over here in the Netherlands and to get registered in the Dutch health system, you nowadays need to pass a Dutch language exam. A level B2 plus in Dutch, so it's not yet C1, but also is not A2 or B1, is definitely a high level of Dutch, but that's necessary in order to get registered in the Netherlands, in the Dutch health system. Actually, it's like the same in getting registered in the Ordem de Dentistas in Portugal. Excuse me for my pronunciation, Portuguese pronunciation, I don't know that. Or like the Colegio de Dentistas in Spain, and also in Spain, you have, for every region, you have a Colegio de Dentistas where you are also registered over there. Actually, that works the same over here, but then for the whole country, called the big register. And also when you are registered, you are having your big registration. Big, actually like what is also big in English, but then also the abbreviative. And as you can see, you need to have a B2 plus Dutch language exam, which you need to pass, which also contains normal Dutch language, but also dental vocabulary. So really focused on dentistry so that you know all the terms, what you need to know as a dentist in your daily job as a dentist in the clinic. But I would like to express, don't worry about this language level if you are considering a career abroad in the Netherlands, because it's definitely something where we can help you with. In fact, as you also can read over here in the slide, we have more than 12 years of experience in helping dentists with learning the language. In the beginning, there was no language requirement yet, but we already had a language course in our program. Why? Because we thought that if Spanish and Portuguese dentists started their career abroad, you already have an advantage if you have knowledge of the Dutch language. So that will give you an advantage when you start your work in a Dutch dental clinic. We saw that that we compared with the people who didn't speak the language, and there was also an investigation about it, the ones who didn't master the language or who didn't have knowledge of the Dutch language, they had less high turnovers than the ones who did speak Dutch in the clinic. So we already had like a sort of structure. We already had our language course in our program back in the days. But then we heard that the Dutch government decided to oblige the Dutch language from now on, meaning that every dentist nowadays need to learn and to pass the Dutch language exam, level B2+, in order to get the registration to work over here in the Netherlands. Maybe you would ask yourself, okay, why is that so important? Well, you are able to work in the Netherlands also without your registration, but then all your work experience is not administered. At the same time, you're only allowed to work under supervision in the clinic, meaning it's not that does not mean that there's all the time a dentist watching over your shoulder. However, it does mean that another colleague of yours needs to be all the time present in the clinic legally so that you are allowed to do your job over there as well. And at the same time, that is something what at short term, uh, isn't that big of a deal. That's doable for the clinic, but after a while, we also see our clients, but also here in the Netherlands, it's all the time necessary to obtain your registration, because it also means that your registration number is visible also for the patients. They feel trust, they feel at ease when they come to the clinic and they see that you're registered in the Dutch health system. It means that you are checked, your degree is checked, you are officially registered in the Dutch health system, and it also gives trust towards your patients. And that's also why it's so important to focus and to learn the Dutch language and to focus on that. Actually, that's the first step when you are making your step to the Netherlands. I will talk about it in a second again, but I would like to express again that it's not something you have to worry about. Yes, some affinity with learning a new language is definitely an advantage. Also, a good level of English is also definitely an advantage, and also actually required to be able to start a program. Why? Because in only 20 weeks' time, we will get you from level scratch, 0 to the required level of Dutch. Again, then after 20 weeks' time, getting you ready to take the exam, and also to get your registration as soon as possible. Good thing about it is that because of our experience and for doing this for so many years, nowadays we are a recognized language institute, meaning that also at the website of the governmental big registration, we're only one of the few suppliers who are able to provide you this language exam and this language program, simply because of the fact that we have helped dentists for many years right now, and also with good success. We have the track record, we have the experiences, and honestly, in the beginning, it was also for us, a learning thing. Also, we had to learn how we had to adapt our previous language course, what was B1 at the time, to B2 plus. But as you can imagine, the basics were there already. The structure was already made. We, between commas, only had to scale up from B1 to B2 plus. But we did. And because of our experiences, because of the dentists we have helped in all those years, nowadays, we are a certified language institute, which gives you the opportunity to learn the language as soon as possible, and to get you as soon as possible ready from leaving your country behind, and then to start your new life and your new career over here in the Netherlands with our guidance. But I talk about BGB, and I also said that I have been working here for more than 12 years right now. I see in the slide, by the way, that I forgot to add Spanish dentist as well, of course, besides Portuguese dentist, but of course that applies to you both. But what is actually BGB dentistry? Well, BGB dentistry is actually, let me go to the next slide. This actually gives a nice impression about what is BGB dentistry about. In a word, we have in the beginning, as I mentioned before, a 20-week program, which I will go in detail about in a few seconds. But I think these pictures give quite a good impression about what also BGB dentistry is and also can be for you. As you can see, we are quite a young team, and nowadays we are also a very multinational team. We started with a few Dutch colleagues, but nowadays we are a team of 23 internal people, all helping and contributing to providing a good program for dentists like you. But that also means that also nowadays we have partners of dentists also working at our internal team, because they know exactly how the whole process went, what was difficult, what was necessary to do. So they really could use their own experiences also at our team. But as you also can see at the pictures, we have the program helping dentists to, also you see it also over here later in the other slide. Let me go here. That's also another picture where we celebrate one of our festivities. I will talk about it in a second. But here already forward a little bit, is not only learning the language, preparing yourself for going to the Netherlands, but it's also, I would say, meeting a new community. And not only the BGB people as a team, but also the people who you're going to meet. So it's first diving into the Dutch language. Learn the Dutch language. We will help you also prepare everything what you need, the paperwork, but also finding a job in a dental clinic. But actually, to summarize all that, yeah, I would say this gives a nice summary also how it can be. It is again studying Dutch, working in the Netherlands, and also attending nice activities, BGB parties, BGB drinks in the region where people are working. That's also something what we definitely pay attention to. This is also a picture of our Sinterklaas party last December. Maybe for the ones who already have been here in the Netherlands or know something about the Netherlands, every December we celebrate the birthday of Sinterklaas. Actually, like sort of brother of sorry, I forgot the word. Santa Claus. But on the 5th of December, we celebrate his birthday, meaning that he will bring presents to the kids. So we all the time celebrate that with all our dentists every year, where we have a nice get together. We drink something, we play games together, just also to have a nice time together, and also to get in touch with each other, to see each other again at the same time. So it's not only that we help you to learn the Dutch language and to find you a job in the clinic, it's also that we pay attention to, we call it, let's say, the aftercare, and that also we stay in touch with you once you start working and living a life over here in the Netherlands, to get in touch with each other, and also, to find out how you're doing, and also to give you nice experiences once that you are working and living over here. Then about the BGB program itself. So what is all about, and also what does it entail? In the first place, the BGB program, as I mentioned several times right now, is the majority lies in learning the Dutch language. And that's also why we have thought well about how we can offer this. And that's also why we have first a 10-week e-learning program, what you can still follow in Spain and Portugal, where you can also combine this e-learning program in the first 5 weeks with your work, or maybe you're a final year student and you need to finish your final task at the university. We also have people doing that. Just to say that the first 5 weeks of the 10-week e-learning at home is part-time. It's around 24 hours of study load per week. Bear in mind that you have classes during the week with a teacher and another dentist who's practicing together with you, normally on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, of around 2 hours long. When you are practicing together, you get also feedback from the teacher at the same time. But for the rest, you are totally flexible to study at your preferred time and what you have available during those 5 weeks. That's the first part. And then you will study from level 0, from level scratch, to level A1. Afterwards, you continue. Again, it's e-learning. But then you need to be full-time available because then you have a class with the teacher, but also with the group where you're in selected. We make normally groups, what can be 2 people, but also can maybe max 12 people, something in between. But keep then in mind that in the second block of 5 weeks, the final block of 5 weeks, you need to be available every day. And that's also why we say that you can't actually combine that with your work, what you maybe have at the time, simply because you really need to dedicate your time to learn the language, to be available. And it's also definitely not something to underestimate. So maybe you think, or you have heard something about the Dutch language. I am, maybe you already noticed, totally Dutch. It's not that easy maybe to learn the language. But so you really need to be motivated and to learn it. And if you have that, you definitely you will make it. However, it is important though that you need to be motivated and dedicated to simply follow the instructions of our academy to be able to grow in your level of Dutch. What else to say about this? That's the first 5 weeks e-learning part-time, 5 weeks e-learning full-time. Meanwhile, well, talking about Portuguese and Portuguese Spanish dentist, my Portuguese colleague Dario, he also will be your contact person in those weeks. Why? Because he also will be helping you with all the paperwork, what you need to arrange at that time for finally going to the Netherlands, like your birth certificates, your diploma, a letter of good conduct. Well, a few things which you need to fill out, what you need to arrange, what you need to collect in order to help us also with your registration afterwards. And also to get you in the course in the Netherlands. Because that's also the second part of our language program after finishing the e-learning program of 10 weeks. Again, recapping, first 5 weeks, level 0 to A1, like the basics of Dutch, part-time. Second block, 5 weeks, full-time, from A1 to A2. Meanwhile, we have helped you with, well, continuing the course in the Netherlands. So arranging your flight, paperwork, again, etc. And then you continue the course at our academy in the Netherlands in Westerbork. Back in the days, maybe you already have seen it at our socials, or for the ones who already are following us for quite some years right now, we always had our academy in Austria, in the mountains. But since this year, we are offering our academy in the Netherlands, which of course also brings other advantages because you're already going to your next destination, your final destination, because you're going to the Netherlands. So you already are going to your next country to live and to work over here. The setup is a little bit different between how it was organized back in the days. Back in the days in Austria, we already had a hotel over there where we could invite all our people to. But here in the Netherlands, at our academy in Westerbork, we have we make use of several houses, and where also our dentist can live over there for those 10 weeks, meaning that you are sharing your house also with a couple of other colleagues who are studying Dutch together with you. Can be from your same country, can be from other nationalities as well. But we try to make the right, how you say that? The right selection, I would say, to see also people who we have met. Hey, who would fit well with that person? But that actually is also quite logical and also quite flexible at the same time as well. But the idea is also then that in those 10 weeks, you are living together also with other dentists in the same house, meaning you are sharing the kitchen, sharing the living room also with each other. But logically, you have your own privacy and your own bedroom when you're going to sleep. But keep in mind then also that you're not living alone, but you're living together with other colleagues during those 10 weeks, which is also a very nice occasion and opportunity to meet other people as well, and make new friendships. And that's also what we see actually in all those years, that the people you're going to meet during the course normally also will become very good friends. Once that you start your real career and your real life over here, you will see them, and that's also a big difference with Spain and Portugal. The Netherlands is very small as a country, so it won't take you that much time to visit your former colleagues during the course again, and to see each other in the weekends or in other occasions. That's also what we see our dentists doing during their work and life over here. About the accommodation and also about the budget. Well, Here in the Netherlands, we, as I said before, we provide you accommodation with those houses where you will stay also for those 10 weeks over there. But also we will provide you budget so that you also can buy your own groceries during the weeks. Nowadays we have vegetarian people, vegan people, people who only would like to eat meat, have their own diet. We think it's also nowadays quite normal that you can buy the stuff what you want. Instead that we as a company will buy the stuff for you. So you're very flexible in buying everything what you would like to have during those 10 weeks. We give you the budget every week that you can go to the groceries. You can buy groceries for your living during those 10 weeks. About the course itself, in the Netherlands, during the week, you have classes. So from Monday to Friday, normally Friday afternoon ends a little bit earlier, or will be combined with activities, with social activities, or maybe something what can be combined with the language at the same time as well. But just also to express that it's not only learning, and only to be busy with your study. No, it's also that we pay attention to the relaxation part, to refresh your mind, to do nice social activities with each other during the weekends, or as I said, maybe on a Friday afternoon, if that's possible. That's of course all that depends on the progress and also what the teachers think what is good to do during those weeks. But usually, we see also in the weekends that also people are going to restaurants, having a nice time together. They're gonna visit cities, explore the Netherlands, are traveling in your free time, and also we as BGB, we also go there with our colleagues every couple of weeks to arrange something together and to organize something together, like an excursion, or to go to a boat trip, to have a nice time together, to do some excursions. Last time we went with the whole group, as you can see in the picture below, we had a e-chopper tour on a very nice summer day. So as you can see, we definitely also have good summer days over here. Sorry. Just also have a nice time together and also to give you nice experiences during your course at the same time as well. Besides the language part, because the whole course is tailor-made for dentists like you, in the first part, general Dutch, but also once you are in academy in the Netherlands, in Westerbork, we also will incorporate dental vocabulary inside the course, because as I mentioned before, a part of the language exam is also the dentistry vocabulary. You need to know, of course, all the vocabulary related to dentistry, and that's also why we have developed our own dental course, our own dental vocabulary, and what you need to learn in order also to prepare yourself for the exam and also to pass for the exam afterwards. Normally in the final week of the 10 weeks in the Netherlands, we're going to practice the exams with you. So then you already have a good level of Dutch, close, or already you already have the level but you need to have in order to take the exam. So we're going to practice the language exams the whole week to get you ready for the exam, which will take place on the final day of the course. At the same time, we also will give you a dental training by a Portuguese colleague, Rita Marinho. Rita is, besides helping us with the selection of new dentists, if you would like to apply afterwards, you also are going to meet her for sure, because she's also the one where you will have a conversation with to talk about dentistry. What is it like to work in a Dutch dental clinic? So the real technical, the technical specific questions about dentistry, but also your experience and to value your dental skills. That's also something what Rita does also with you. Other colleague of Rita is Danielle. That's my Dutch colleague, our Dutch colleague. So they are doing that together to give you dental training once you are taking the course in Westerbork, meaning to prepare you what it's like to work in a Dutch dental clinic. So like the protocols, what kind of software we are using, just to prepare you, the cases, what you can expect in the clinic, just to give you like a sort of prep course, preparation before you start work in the clinic after finishing the course. Meanwhile, when you are learning the language, covered by books, and to prepare yourself to grow in your level of Dutch, we at the background, as BGB, we also help you to find you a job in a Dutch dental clinic. And it can be everywhere. So it can be in the north, west, east, center, south, simply because we depend on available vacancies that are available at the time when you finish the program in the Netherlands. Only when there's a very good specific reason, logically, we can start to search in a certain area, but only again if that reason is really valid and a very good reason why we should start to search over here. Because at the same time, yes, we have a lot of vacancies for dentists, but at the same time, our goal is to find you a clinic where we think, based on all our years of experience, where we think, hey, this is a good match for you when you start your new life and your new career over here. A clinic where you feel comfortable, where you go to every day happily, and where you feel at your place over there. So that's also why we really would like take the responsibility to find you the right dental clinic here in the Netherlands, which can then be everywhere in the Netherlands. Does that mean that you have to stay there, that you have to work there during our whole contract duration? I also will come about it in a second. No. So it's your first job. And of course, if things go well, why change a winning team? Or why change something if everything goes well? It would be great if you would work there during our contract duration. But it's also very common that during our contract duration, because we work normally 3 years with our dentist, we also see our dentists changing from clinics after a while, or just gaining experience in a clinic for some time, let's say for more than a year. And after a year, they would like to move to another part of the Netherlands. That's also totally normal. But just to let you know that we have many years of experience in helping dentists to go to the Netherlands. And especially also for the ones who just graduated, we would like to make sure that we're going to find you a clinic where you are happy and where you can grow. That you are happy to go there every day. But that job is guaranteed. So what we hear often from Spanish and Portuguese dentists is that, when they start working in Spain and Portugal, you don't maybe know how long you can stay over there. Do I have a job? Maybe I can work there first as a trainee, doing an internship. Do I have the security? Am I sure that I will get a job afterwards? That's not the case with us. So when you would apply for a program, the job is guaranteed. We'll make sure that we're going to find you a job, and that also for a duration of a couple of years. In this case, 3 years. 3 years job guarantee over here in the Netherlands. To continue about the BGB program, because that's not only about it. Besides helping you with the language part, what we already just covered, and also helping you to find you a job in a Dutch dental clinic, we logically also help you with your relocation and installation in the Netherlands. And that sounds maybe, logical or normal, and it actually is. Because nowadays, installation in the Netherlands, talking about the housing market, I think that's nowadays a global thing. We have a tight housing market at the same time in the Netherlands as well. We have also a shortage in houses. We see it in the whole world nowadays, but that's also definitely the case also, and also applying to the Netherlands. Maybe that's nowadays even the most difficult part of a whole program. So that's not helping you to learn the language or helping you to find a good job in a Dutch dental clinic. No, it's more about the house part. So especially because we have a shortage of houses, of accommodation over here in the Netherlands. That's also nowadays the biggest challenge also for us. Again, don't worry, because we will find accommodation for everyone. but also at the same time to tell you like, guys, trust in the way how we work. Give us some slack. Don't be that piggy in the first place. That you have accommodation, that's the most important thing. No one had to sleep under a bridge or something. But logically, it's a big part of the relocation process. But again, as I already said before about the job part, it's also totally normal to just take it in the beginning. So you already have accommodation, but after, let's say, after 1 year, or maybe even sooner, if it's really necessary, you can go to other accommodation, or you meet other people and they say, hey, come move in with me, or you find something yourself. And about that, regarding how to find accommodation, it's not that we will select your accommodation. No, we will give you the options where you can check accommodation, websites. We can make the appointment with the landlord, so you can also check it yourself. But again, you make the decision yourself. So you, of course, need to feel happy to live over there. But again, please don't be that selective and that you have to wait for better options, because sometimes, they are not there at that moment. Also to help each other out also regarding this topic. Help with the paperwork. I already mentioned this topic. That's also done by my colleague Dario. But we want that you are taking the exam. And of course, we hope and we expect that you pass the exam afterwards. And we can directly continue with sending all your documents to the big registration so that you will receive as soon as possible your big registration and you're registered in the Netherlands. Maybe a question from you can be, okay, what if I study the language and I do all my best, but maybe for some reason I don't pass. I don't pass the exam after 20 weeks. What then? Do I have to go back? What happens then? Well, don't worry. Yes, the course is tailor-made, is designed for dentists like you, in which it will be possible. And we have the experience again, so the majority is also passing right away, that you are able to pass the exam right away after 20 weeks. But if you've done your best and despite all your efforts, you didn't make it, don't worry, we keep helping you. Even when you start to work over here in the Netherlands already, we give you more classes. Of course, we would like to see your dedication still. You need to be motivated because, again, it's very important to learn the language and to get registered as soon as possible. However, you can expect more guidance from our side. That's also advantage that we can do also the course within our walls. We can track your progress all the time during those weeks. But even then, if you didn't pass after 20 weeks, we can see also where your level is. And also we see nowadays that people who didn't pass in the first attempt, maybe 1 week later, they did pass the recovery exam. So then even we see that you take the exam successfully already very soon afterwards. And if, again, in the worst case scenario, between commas, that's still too soon, then we make a plan, we make a schedule that we can keep offering you classes once that you're already starting your work and your new life in the Netherlands. So keep that in mind, that you have classes in the evenings or maybe during the weekends, just to prepare you and to get you as soon as possible ready to improve and also to pass the exam as soon as possible afterwards. Again, it is possible to start already working in the clinic even if you haven't passed your exam yet. But again, that is only actually possible and convenient for the short term. The clinics, they also know that you're busy with learning the language. And yes, also they have some time in the beginning to keep your work under supervision. But believe me, it's also our experience that clinics all the time are saying like, hey, how's it going with dentist X, with his or with her language? Did they already pass the exam? Simply because clinics they want to have dentists who are registered. And that's also our trademark. So we are known as BGB, as a company was delivering dentists who are registered in the health system in the Netherlands, which is for you beneficial, for us, for the clinics, and in the end, the end customer, who are the patients, what you are doing dentistry for. Again, an important role by Rita. Rita is also helping our dentists who start to work by giving them a kickstart in the Netherlands. What does that mean? She's also available for you when you have questions. When you start your work, if you need like a listening ear, or if you think, hey, I would like to have like a sort of advice about how to deal with certain situations or something. Of course, you can also discuss it in your clinic when you're working, but we as BGB, we would like to assist you, to guide you, well, in this case, on dentistry level, on dentistry side by Rita. Don't hesitate then to contact her. And also, if necessary, she also will gonna meet you as well. She's gonna visit you in your clinic to help you out, to talk with you about some things, just to give you some guidance, to give you some tips, and to kickstart your career in the Netherlands in the beginning. About a contract, as I already mentioned before, we have normally a 3-year contract in which we will collaborate with each other for 3 years in the Netherlands. So besides the 20-week program, afterwards, we hope to collaborate with you for 3 years in the Netherlands. Why 3 years? 3 years is, of course, quite a long duration. It's not that short, but 3 years is also beneficial for several reasons, and mainly because to really enjoy the benefits of a new country. Because let's say if you have a 1-year contract, you just arrived in the Netherlands, you have unpacked your bags, and then after a few months you have to pack your bags again. And we see that 3 years is really a good period also to really enjoy the advantages of the Netherlands. Knowing the Dutch culture, finding your place in the Netherlands, growing professionally, growing financially as a dentist. And that's also why we think that 3 years is also a very good period to really become a dentist in the Netherlands. We also share it quite often at our social media post, become a dentist in the Netherlands. Well, we think that 3 years is also a good period to really enjoy the benefits of the Netherlands. At the same time, we also need 3 years of your time. And that's also because of the fact that the whole program that I just explained is not something what we ask you to pay back to us. It's not something that we say, hey, here we have the invoice, you need to pay this amount back to us. No. Logically, yes, we have quite an investment what we have to make in you. It's like almost like a master, what we invest in all our dentists. But in order to finance that for you, we need 3 years of your time once you start working and living over here in the Netherlands. Because with the turnover you make in the Netherlands, in the Dutch dental clinic, every month for 3 years long, we will be able to finance your cost in the Netherlands. So that's also like, the thing what we ask you in return. There's not something that you have to pay us in upfront, to pay for our services. But what we do need to ask you is, to be available. We ask your time to stay and live here for a couple of years. As I said in the beginning, we see our dentists staying way longer than 3 years in the Netherlands, but that's of course quite personal. But we simply need some time in order to finance gradually and periodically and monthly also our investment in you, to offer you this program at the same time. Is it then possible to go back earlier? Yes, but then you should pay something back to us. So then, we are not in a position anymore that you are working in the clinic. So that means also that we can't finance your investment anymore once you start working over here. So, and that's why, we have to send you that part what we haven't financed yet to you. Some what you have to pay back to us then, in case that you decide, to leave earlier than those 3 years in the Netherlands. But just to let you know that yes, it is possible to go back earlier, but then you should something pay back to us. But if not, if you do see yourself living and working here for a couple of years, then again, there's nothing to pay back to us. At the same time, talking about the 3-year contract. It is also sometimes possible to have like a shorter contract, let's say 2.5 years. Keep in mind then that also maybe your financial growth can be a little bit less compared than with a 3-year contract. So then maybe you have, if that's really something that you want, if you would like to have a shorter contract, that means that we have to finance every month more once that you're working and living over here than for, let's say, 2.5 years long, or another contract which you have, because then we need to put and to finance more during the time that you're staying over here, and it also results in having less high salary compared with the ones who are staying here for 3 years and having that contract. But yeah, if you have questions about that, feel free to let me know, and I can tell you also more about your options. What else to expect about the 3-year guidance? Because it's not only that you're working here and stay here for 3 years. No, we check in with you every couple of months, 6 months, in fact. Every 6 months, every half year, we have an evaluation review. That's also done by my Spanish colleague, Anna, by the way. So it's well divided between Spanish colleagues and also Portuguese colleagues. But our Spanish colleague, Anna, she is having our evaluations with our dentist every 6 months, just to check in with you how you're doing. Are you happy with your life? How's it going in the clinic? How's it going with your turnovers? Is everything going well with your patient, etc. And that's also normally those type of conversations. Normally that starts after 1 year. Then also, if you do well and we see your turnover growing and growing and growing in the clinic, that also means that sometimes, not sometimes, that's quite often a topic of discussion. A salary raise can be discussed. So if you perform well in the clinic and we see your progress, I have to be honest, if it's only 1 month, that doesn't count. If you have to show, of course, a gradual line all the time in your progress, and you're doing well regarding the turnover, then you show us that you are worth to have a salary raise, but that of course only depends on you, how you are doing in the clinic. Why is it so important to have a high turnover? Because also our whole business depends on that. So logically, we're going to offer you a salary, and also I will talk about it in a second, but we simply make a company in which we are working together. So, for example, BGB, Joao Dentist BV, and we will collaborate in that company for those 3 years. And every month, we are working in that company. And every month, we ask the clinic where you will be working what your turnover was, and we get a percentage of your turnover in our company, from which we will pay your salary. We will finance your costs, what we've invested earlier in you. As I mentioned before, our investment in you. We do your administration, we pay your travel expenses, and there's also a part left for us. That's how I get paid, how we get paid as a company. That's also our management fee, our commercial benefits, how we can improve also our company at the same time. And that we also earn income as a company. That's also our whole business. So that's also why we need to be sure that you are making good turnovers in the clinic. That's also why it's so important to be a good dentist over here. More about this professional development. So it's not only having had the 3 years work in the Netherlands, or the contract when you're working and living over here in the Netherlands, doing your thing in the clinic. No, we also really pay attention to professional development. And so it's also paying attention to courses. Rita, for example, she has already organized several BGB masterclasses about crowns and onlays. We have a collaboration with From Roots in Portugal at the same time as well. So we also offer our own courses to our dentists if people really would like to apply for that, to really get them to help and to grow better in their professional development. But also, you are free as well to find for courses or a master graduation if you think maybe also in collaboration with the clinic or in collaboration with us, if you think that will help you in your career. Of course, that need to be part-time, because during the week you will have your agenda in your clinic, but there are several part-time courses, part-time masters in the weekend or maybe once per month, which allows you also to go, let's say, back to Portugal or to Spain for a master, and to combine work and professional development. Sometimes also, depending on how you're doing in the clinic, we can also decide to help you investing in this professional education. Logically, then also your company, you need to do well in the clinic. You need to show that you're doing good work in the clinic, but the possibilities are definitely there. So it's also definitely our goal to really help you to grow. So it's not only, again, to get you started and to help you with the language part, to help you with finding the job part, finding the clinic for you, help you with the paperwork. No, it's also to help you grow in your career. And if you need our help with that, we will be happy also, to discuss with you and to help you further in this topic. Events. Well, I already showed some pictures before, but besides working and living over here, we would like to get in touch with you by also organizing several events. So every year we celebrate Sinterklaas, as I mentioned, and as I showed, but also, we just had our BGB summer party, where we saw again lots of our dentists coming to have a nice time together, to catch up and to see each other again. But also, we arrange once in a while BGB drinks in the regions where our dentists are working and living. So we go to the several provinces. Actually, it's right now again topic at our agenda again to schedule that for the upcoming months. Also, to get in touch with you again, to catch up, to see how you're doing, but also to offer you the opportunity also to meet other dentists again at the same time as well. Maybe you already know them because you are living in the same province over there, but even sometimes, you meet other people. So just to have a nice time together. Salary, of course, an important topic, and also salary growth. We work with a fixed salary in our contract, meaning that even before you start working in the clinic, you will already know your salary, what you're going to earn in the clinic. Simply because we have a start salary and a salary what you will be able to earn once you're working over here in the Netherlands. A start salary is a salary what we think is a good salary to start with based on your experience and also based on our experience of all the other dentists who started our program before. Meaning, think about a start salary between 3,000 and 4,000 netto to begin with, depending on your experience. Logically, the ones who just graduated, they start normally around 3,000 netto to begin with, but the ones who have more experience, logically, they start with a higher salary. Why normally between this area or between this salary category? Simply because we don't know how good you really are as a dentist. So we're not going to invite you to come over to the Netherlands where you have to show manually how good you are as a dentist. No, we do that. As I said before, we have, you will have a conversation with Rita online, where also, you will talk about dentistry, you will talk about your skills, you will talk about your experience. You will show us what you have done as experience, where you have studied, etc. What kind of person are you? What do you like the most? Where do you need guidance with? What do you like in experience? Well, the whole picture. And based on that, and also the way, and that's also Rita's role in this part, the way how you analyze clinical cases online, together also with your experience, what you have filled out to us, or sent to us, sorry. We would like to make you an offer. But again, that's also an indication what we think that's conform your situation right then at that moment. But it really depends on you how fast you will grow to a higher salary, simply because of the turnover you make in the clinic. And so that's also why it's not strange that we have seen several times that the salary that we offered in the first place was already different a couple of months later. Normally, as I already said before, we see that dentists are earning or having a salary raise, let's say after 1 year, maybe even a little bit shorter if they're doing overperforming or doing very well in the clinic. But sometimes, yeah, we already give it for granted, or we already give it to you if you really think that you're performing great in the clinic, and that maybe your salary was not that representative in the first place, but if you perform well in the clinic, we maybe even offered you from our side even before you even ask about it. So just to let you know that it's all about your performance in the clinic, and in the end, you decide in that case, your own financial growth and also your own career over here. If you're a good dentist and you're motivated to do good dentistry in the clinic, you will see that your turnover will grow, meaning also that your salary will grow at the same time as well. That's also why your salary potential, so as I said, the salary in the beginning, the start salary, the initial salary can be between 3,000 and 4,000 netto to begin with, which is also a good salary to start with when you start your career over here. But once you start working over here in the Netherlands during our contract duration, this salary can grow between 60 to, let's say, 100,000 netto on yearly base, depending again, on your turnover in the clinic and how good you're doing that. Because we are having a company together, there's also the possibility to having a bonus of the company that will be split between you and BGB. It's maybe a little bit technical for now, but it's something maybe to keep in mind, that it's not only your salary what you are receiving, also because we are having a company together. If you want, that's by the way optional, but normally we see the people having this company together with us. If you have that, then also, and if you're doing well with the company, then also there's a bonus also awaiting for you, which also can be added to your normal salary in the Netherlands, and also ensuring very nice financial growth in the Netherlands. But again, to avoid that things are going to be too technical right now, in the end, you just have a job contract and a study contract. So a job contract, what actually entails everything about work in the Dutch dental clinic, meaning the salary, what I just mentioned, your start salary, how many paid holidays you have, 25 paid holiday days. What about your travel expenses? You also see here what kind of compensation you get for the travel expenses, what you make. Well, actually everything related to the job part. That's the job contract. We also call it over here the employment agreement. The study contract is actually all about a program. So the study, the language course, studying Dutch, the materials. What if I would like to quit after a couple of weeks with the course? What if I would like to quit in the middle of the course, etc.? What are we obliged to offer you as a company? Well, articles that will cover your back, that will protect you, and also that will cover our back as BGB. But that contract is all about the study program, the whole program, what I also explained. And the job contract is really about the job part, when you start working in a Dutch dental clinic. But then, when you are in our course, you also have the possibility to become co-owner of the company, what we are creating for you as well. Again, that's too technical to explain right now. That's also, again, not obligatory. But if you have some entrepreneurship and if you're really looking for nice financial growth and also, maybe having interest in that, you would like to know how things are done inside a company with administration, etc., then it's really interesting, to maybe think about becoming a co-owner, a shareholder of the company together with us as well. But again, that's something what will be explained way later in the process once the time is right. So not something to really know more about it in detail for now. The cost BGB, as already said before, we need to make a lot of cost for you. We are investing almost a master in you, And that's something, yeah, what we have, to finance once you start working over here with the turnover you're making in the Dutch dental clinics. But in any case, the salary what we're going to offer you is also more than enough to be able, to have a good life in the Netherlands. I would advise you that once you start a program, and also when you go to the Netherlands, it's always handy to have some pocket money with you. Also, even during the course, because as I said, we will provide you all the accommodation. Also, we will give you the budget so that you can buy your own groceries. However, it's always handy to have some pocket money with you so that you have money to go on excursions, to gonna travel to other parts of the Netherlands, to have drinks with all your colleagues during the course. Yeah, you don't want to sit alone in your room in accommodation, and all the others are going. Of course not. So that's also for that purpose. But even when you start your career in the Netherlands and you start your life over here, you have found accommodation. I forgot to mention, by the way, after finishing the language course, before you start to really work in the clinic, you first will have a temporary accommodation, because you first will have a traineeship of 2 weeks in the clinic, what we have selected for you, just to make sure that's a good match from both sides. Normally that's the case, but if not, we're going to find you a new clinic as soon as possible afterwards. But yeah, because we don't know that 100% for sure yet, of course, we are no prophets. We have to see that, of course, from both sides. And that's also why we have arranged first temporary accommodation for you, like sort of Airbnb. And then once we have the yes from all sides, then we're going to help you to find fixed accommodation. And then, of course, once you start working over there with the normal salary, what I already mentioned before, from that time, it's time to pay for your own costs in the Netherlands. So also to pay your rent, your electricity, your internet, your Netflix account, etc., your gym. Well, even then, with the salary, what we're going to offer you, you have more than enough to be able to live well in the Netherlands. However, we would advise you, especially in the first months, sometimes landlords, they can ask an extra deposit, or that can be maybe twice your salary or twice the rent that you have to pay. In that case, it's always handy to take some pocket money with you, so extra money with you, if you have, of course, so that you are safe in your first months. Because maybe also you have to go to the IKEA to buy some billy closets, to buy some stuff for your house. So in all cases, it's always handy to have some pocket money with you in the beginning. About that, if it's really not possible, or if you don't have the financial funds, please inform us about it so we can find out that we can help you out. Maybe giving you a loan that maybe we can store in our company together. Well, something we have to figure out, but just to let you know that, you're not alone, and you can also ask us about the best possibilities about that if it's really urgent for you. Finally, requirements. So what do you need to need to offer us in order to get selected? Well, for Spanish and Portuguese dentists, for the ones we already have helped, again, as education level, we have good experiences with the ones we have helped. Also meaning just graduate dentists who just finished their studies, as also the ones who already have a few years of experience or even more. Logically, you need to have a diploma in dentistry, finish your degree in dentistry, EU nationality. Well, I am talking to Spanish and Portuguese dentists right now, but that's definitely also required. Not because we don't want to help dentists without the European Union, of course we do, but that also is more complicated and also requires a longer and also more complicated procedure, registration procedure. So that's also, for now, we are only able to focus on dentists who have an EU degree in dentistry, in a diploma in dentistry, and also EU nationality. I think that's also the case with Spanish and Portuguese dentists. And also an affinity, also an interest in learning new language. So if you're motivated, if you like to learn a new language, you have some affinity with it, That's definitely also an advantage. For sure, a good level of English, and that also you're able, to have a good fluent level of English, that you understand well everything in English. We don't require a certificate or something, so you don't need to send us like a certificate of Cambridge or IELTS at the same time. No, we don't ask you that, but yeah, as also today, but also in the whole selection process, I also speak Spanish. I don't speak Portuguese yet, but yeah, for the Spanish dentists who are watching right now, yeah, also the first conversation can be in Spanish. However, other conversations, but also during the course, yeah, a good level of English is required. So that's also why a good level of English is definitely also one of our requirements. Regarding dentistry, we haven't set like an X amount of work experience, because, as I said before, we also hire just graduated dentist, but also dentists with more experience. If you are a just graduated dentist, though, it is important that you are very proactive, that you are confident in performing the basic treatment within general dentistry, meaning you are able to perform endodontics, fillings, checkups, an extraction. You do know something about periodontology, periodontics, or a pediatric dentistry. Simply the basic within general dentistry. After a while, yeah, you can also do the more advanced dentistry treatments like crowns, implants, even maybe prosthetics. That's something what will come later once the time is right, only when you're ready for it. But as I said before, the basics. So in the beginning, you will do, of course, a lot of checkups, fillings, extractions, endodontics, those type of treatments, and that's something you need to feel confident about. Mainly, especially I would say, fillings and extractions and also checkups. Yeah, you need to show us, in this case Rita, that you are capable, that you're able to make a good diagnosis with the patient, and that you can help them, and that they also leave the appointment happily, also after talking to you, after going to your chair. That's also one of our requirements, so that you feel confident in the basic dentistry treatments. But again, that's something what is up to Rita to decide, and also for the Portuguese dentist among us. Feel free to contact Rita also if you have doubts about it, or if you would like to talk about what is working as a dentist about. Of course, you can do that between Portuguese dentists in Portuguese at the same time. You don't need English for that. That's, I think, also the added value of Rita, who can also tell you also more about it. Other more requirements, of course, you need to have an adventurous character, need to be flexible, because at the same time, yes, it's I think a great program. We have good experiences with all our dentists, or at least with most of our dentists, because also sometimes can something go wrong, or not as expected, or maybe a delay. But overall, we have great experiences with our dentist. At the same time, things can get complicated, and sometimes you will have difficult days. Sometimes you will find difficult days where maybe it's not going that well with learning the language. You will have maybe bad days in the Netherlands with rainy days, cloudy days, maybe not having a good day in the clinic. That's, I think, all part of life, and also part of the whole relocation process. But if you have the motivation to really pursue a career as a dentist in the Netherlands, that you really would like to make everything out of your career, to grow professionally, to dedicate yourself, to learn the language, and to gain experience as a dentist, you can expect the same motivation from our side. And that's also, these are the people who you would like to help and who really are motivated to go to the Netherlands. Did I miss something else regarding requirements? Adventurous character. Again, you need to be available for a couple of years, preferably 3 years. If the contract duration is really something that is bothering you, we can discuss the options, but yeah, that really depends, of course, on what you want, and of course need to be doable. But I hope that I've explained well in this conversation, in this webinar, why the Netherlands, or sorry, why the 3 years can be a good period. But again, if you have doubts about this, feel free, of course, to let me know. Finally, next steps. And that also brings me to the end of this webinar. We have already spoken for more than 1.5 hours, I see almost. We are currently selecting dentists. We have normally a couple of groups per year. A group just started actually a couple of weeks ago. What was also a good mix between Spanish and Portuguese dentists. But also earlier this year in February, we also had a group that also contained many Portuguese dentists especially, and also before also Spanish dentists again. So yeah, we really see that Spanish dentists are well represented, and also Portuguese dentists are well represented in our courses. And at the same time, right now, we are selecting our final group of this year. The 15th of October, we have a new group starting, meaning starting with the e-learning. So that also means that you're still at home. So you don't have to pack your bags yet. Or maybe a little bit for later. But you follow the e-learning course at home. First, the 5 weeks part-time, in which you can combine also with your work or with, let's say, other extracurricular activities which you maybe have at the time, and then followed by 5 weeks where you need to be available full-time. And that also would mean that you would start in the beginning of the new year, 2025, with the presential course here in the Netherlands. So you also, it will take some time, but it's also well divided between this year e-learning and then next year the presential course in January in the Netherlands. We still have a few places available for that group. And if you are thinking about that and you would like to know more about it and you would like to apply, let me know. Send your application to me or send me a message that you're thinking about it. Maybe you'd like to have some more information about it. In any case, I would be happy to hear from you. And normally, besides providing you with more info, maybe with a brochure, normally the first step is then having a personal conversation with each other, a video call. Actually the same as right now, but then also through Teams, like a personal one-on-one conversation, in which I can answer your questions. I can tell you maybe more details about the program, although I have been quite, I think, specific today. But maybe you have some questions or doubts about it. And of course, I also will take a look at your profile as well, and inform you about the whole selection process. That is not that long, by the way, the whole selection process. It's first a conversation with me. Also, another conversation maybe with me if you would like to talk with me again. And if I maybe have some more questions for you, maybe to recap everything again. But then also with Rita for the dental part. And then normally, if that goes well, we invite our people to come over to our office in the Netherlands. So especially interesting for the ones who haven't been here in the Netherlands yet. But in any case, we think it's very important to really see each other in real life, especially because we're gonna commit to a certain period with each other for a couple of years. You would like to see who we are as a team. Well, I've been in Lisbon, for example, a couple of months ago, where I met the student association of dentistry over there, the ANEMT, ANEM Dentaria. Again, pardon for my pronunciation, but it was very nice, to be on location and to talk in person, to dentists, to students, so that you really see a real face behind BGB. Well, again, I am one of the 23 internal people of BGB, but coming to the final interviews also gives you the opportunity to also meet our team, to meet the several departments what we have inside our company, but also, to just go through everything again. My colleague Sebastian, who's also the founder and also the CEO of the company, he will explain everything in detail, the contracts, step for step, how our whole collaboration looks like again. So to recap everything, Sebastian also speaks Spanish, by the way, a little bit Portuguese. So afterwards, after the conversation, what will be plenaire normally. Always there will be a one-on-one conversation scheduled with Sebastian. Or then also can be in Spanish, for the ones who are watching, or maybe a little bit Portuguese, but I don't think his Portuguese is that good yet to have a real conversation in Portuguese, but for sure then in English to focus on your personal situation, to answer your questions if you maybe still have those. Then also we make a walk to the Zaanse. We are very close with our office located to the Zaanse, one of the most touristical attractions what we can offer here in the Netherlands. But it's also a very nice way to combine both. Yeah, we have the part at our office, but also it's a nice way to relax a little bit and to have a nice walk together, and also to get some sightseeing of the Netherlands as well. And then we normally see that after the final interviews here at our office, the personal interview at our office in the Netherlands, take your time then to think about it. And normally, we see 1 week later that our dentist, they are in for our program. So that also would be then your selection process if you're thinking about, joining a program. Ask a friend. I also post a picture about this, what I also made a couple of weeks ago at our BGB summer party. We have a referral program. So for the ones who are joining a program, if you know someone who's also interested or also is thinking about going to the Netherlands, and if that person also gets selected, also presented by you, so I would say, let me know that your friend is interested in our program at the same time. If your friend also gets selected, you get a referral bonus of, you can see it over here, 2,500 euros for a friend which you brought to our program. Because in that way, you also helped us in having more dentists coming to the Netherlands, but we would like to reward you for, of course. Meet our ambassadors and colleague Rita. Well, I already said it before, but we have several ambassadors, dentists who went before you, who are living and working over here in the Netherlands for quite some time now. They are available for you to answer your questions, because I'm a Dutch guy, I'm not a dentist, I'm also part of BGB. Maybe you would like to hear it from a real dentist, from a real dentist who joined the program back in the days. You also would like to talk with them, and also I would say don't hesitate to reach out to them if you'd like to talk with them. Ask me about their contact details, but also at our Instagram channel, you already can see several of our Instagram takeovers in which our dentists, they took over Instagram account of BGB for the whole week, in which they showed their life and their work in the Netherlands, which I think, and we think, is the best impression what you can get, because that's all about, in the end, also for your life. But yeah, you can find them over there. You can find the contact details also over there from several dentists, Spanish dentists, Portuguese dentists. So don't hesitate also to contact them about it. Besides, also at our website, you can also find more testimonials, stories of a dentist who are living and working in the Netherlands right now.